Now, Evan Roberts was a coal miner. He was a Sunday school teacher, but he felt called to the ministry, and he was studying at Newcastle Emlyn College when Seth Joshua came back from that church and told of the local revival in Newquay. And Evan Roberts' heart was stirred. The students of the seminary petitioned the principal to cancel all classes and let them attend Seth Joshua's next meeting at a place called Blaenanner. The principal said, "You'll learn more in 1 week of revival than 3 years of study at college." So the students all went down there. The evening meetings were packed, but the morning meetings, in those days they didn't have babysitters, and people at work, people at school couldn't come. So only the nice old ladies of the parish were there, plus the theological students. But one morning Seth Joshua said in Welsh, "O our glued pligny, O Lord, bend us." And this young fellow, Evan Roberts, 26 years of age, went forward and prayed, "O God, bend me." That was a deep experience for him. He said to his roommate, Sidney Evans, "Do you think God could give us 100,000 souls?" Now, if one of my students came and said, "I want to go into evangelism, do you think God would give me 100,000 souls?" I would put it down to enthusiasm. But Evan Roberts was deadly in earnest, and it's very interesting. In the next 5 months, there were 100,000 conversions. He went to the principal. He said, "I can't concentrate on my studies. I keep hearing a voice that says you must go back and talk to the young people in your home church." "Mr. Phillips," he said, "is that the voice of the Spirit or the voice of the devil?" And the principal said very wisely, "The devil never gives orders like that." So he went home. His parents said, "Why aren't you at study? Are you in trouble? Have you been sent down?" "No," he said, "they give me time off to speak to the young people." "What young people?" "In our church." "Well," they said, "we were in church on Sunday and the pastor made no announcement." Evan Roberts says he doesn't know yet. Now, what would you say if you're a pastor and somebody came back from a Bible school after 2 months' study and said, "I've come to preach"? Well, you'd be careful not to hurt his feelings. You'd be even more careful not to hurt the people's feelings. So he didn't invite him immediately to start preaching. He said, "How about coming to the prayer meeting on Monday?" Monday night was prayer meeting night. He didn't ask him to speak to the prayer meeting. At the end of the prayer meeting, when they were getting up to go home, he said, "Our young brother Evan Roberts feels he has a word for you, if you care to wait." Many went on home, but 17 people waited. And Evan Roberts began like delivering a telegram. "I have a message for you from the Lord. You must confess any known sin and put any wrong done to man right again. Second, you must put away any doubtful habit. Third, you must obey the Spirit promptly. Finally, you must confess your faith publicly." Those became the 4 points of the Welsh revival. All 17 responded, and the pastor was so pleased, he said, "We have a mission service tomorrow night. Would you speak there?" He spoke at the midweek service on Wednesday. On Thursday, they had a temperance meeting, but they turned it into a general meeting. On Friday, they had class meetings. They combined them. The crowds got so big. On Sunday, a visiting minister came to preach, and Evan Roberts sat in the pew with his family. But the people got up at the end of the evening service and said, "We'd like to hear Evan Roberts again." So they had another meeting. And next week, the break came. You say, "What do you mean the break?" There was a deep moving of the Holy Spirit. It's very interesting that at the same time in North Wales, a Baptist pastor, R.B. Jones, was preaching. And the prayers of the people drowned out his preaching. There was such a move of God's Spirit. The newspapers in Wales were very interested. The Western Mail sent down a report on this. He said it was a most unusual meeting. There didn't seem to be an order of service. Yet the people didn't want to go home. And he said when the meeting closed at 4:25 in the morning, make a note of that, John. When the meeting closed at 4:25 in the morning, they didn't want to go home. They were standing outside the church, still talking. And then a very British remark from the reporter. He said, I felt that this was no ordinary gathering. But the news was out, and a landslide of interest came. On Saturday, every grocery store in that industrial valley was emptied of groceries by people coming to the meetings. And on Sunday, every church packed to suffocation. The movement was on. Now, you jumped to conclusions. You said then Evan Roberts became the Billy Graham of Wales. Nothing of the sort. He was not really an evangelist, a harvester. He was a revivalist. He spoke to revive God's people, and the resulting conversions followed.